College radio stations 2014 by the Intercollegiate Broadcasting System.
Everything you want to hear from the voice of Cerritos College. WPMD on the nets, where people make a difference.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Falcon Spotlight. I'm your host, Rob JF, and we are slowly approaching finals week. I can't believe it, but the semester is almost over. At this time, I would like my guests to please introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Ovalle.
And my name's Jimmy Valdez.
Cool. Now, you guys represent a club, correct?
Yes, correct. The Social Equality Club. The Social Equality Club?
Okay, cool. Social Equality Club, is it a new club, or has it already been in existence before?
It started last semester, so yeah, it's fairly new.
Fairly new. Okay. You guys have become quite popular. I know that a lot of people they see the red patch that you guys have, and like they'll automatically know that it's your club. Did that start last semester, or is that just this semester that it started?
That started this semester, sorry.
Okay. For membership, I know that sometimes some clubs they have like they pay a certain fee, or only certain clubs, or is there any qualifications for membership?
No, just come to our meetings, really, and be involved.
Yeah, just to be involved, and it's just to a space where students can come and voice their concerns. It's just a safe place for students to come together, and like-minded students, and not only like-minded students, but those who just want to be involved and just see change and make change on campus.
Now, I know that I spoke to the newly elected trustee, Daniel. He mentioned that the square symbolized solidarity. Can you explain more about the square?
Yeah, well, the square started in Quebec in
2012.
2012 with the student movement in Quebec. Pretty much, Jimmy can tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, the student movement, it was in 2012, and pretty much they tried to raise the tuition up to by 75% over a span of 5 to 10 years, I believe. And the students were obviously against that. So what they did was they mobilized up to 300,000 students for a span of about 7 months, and they actually froze this tuition hike. And they even got the politicians that were pushing for this tuition hike out of office.
This was your universities?
Yes, it was in Quebec. It was students. They just organized, got together, and they went on strike. Some of them didn't go to school for the whole 6 months. And it was just to show, if students come together and they really push for something that, and they fight for it, that they'll get what they need, what they want.
Yeah, so the square just goes, it's called the Solidarity Square just to show that, right? They showed unity in between the students, in between the community, and everybody who supported them. And it was just a symbol for not just what they're doing on their campus, but what students are doing worldwide to emulate them, or that, not even just to emulate them, but what students have been doing for years, right, around the world and internationally.
Yeah, just different student movements. And this square isn't specifically for our club. It's just to show student solidarity for all student movements around the world.
Cool. Now, the red square though, it's created like it's not just like students get like construction paper. It looks like some nice material. Where do you guys get them from? Like, how did you guys get inspired about it? Like, did you guys go somewhere? Do you guys give like a speech and you present it to the students? How does that work? How does students get those?
It's just felt. Felt is fairly cheap. If you go to like Michael's, it's like 33 cents per sheet. And if you go to LA, you can find it even cheaper, right, in bulk. But yeah, it's fairly cheap. And yeah, when we first brought it to the club, one of our members had the idea to continue the tradition of Quebec students, and he came and he told us all about it, right? A few of us knew about it already. But yeah, it's nothing super special or anything. It's just a square, and we just hand it out to any student that wishes to support. You don't have to be in the club. You don't have to be really a part of the club. You just have to be in support of, I guess, student right issues, right?
Cool. Now, I know that there are some clubs that they have unique rules, such as there's like a co-president, co-vice presidents, or like in ISA there's uh, membership chair. Do you have any like unique rules in your club or structure?
We're currently still working on our structure because we're new. We do have like the same structure that everybody has, right? Like president, vice president, secretary, and all that. But we don't really have any of those roles fulfilled. How our club mostly runs is through committees. And we have committees for different campaigns that we're running, right? We have committees for our, just depends. Like this semester, we had an outreach and education committee, right? We had a summer committee.
Summer sections
Yeah,
committee,
summer sections committee.
a student trustee committee, and an access to textbooks committee.
So we just run on committees, and wherever students want to plug themselves into is really how it works. We don't really go by the president, vice president, all that stuff. And we're going to rewrite our constitution. Hopefully by next semester we'll have it done, and we'll have it set up the way that we want it to be set up, instead of just like the usual, right?
Cool. Who's your advisor?
Professor George Jarrett and Professor Ted Stoltz.
I know Professor Stoltz. I took him for philosophy. For the club, when do you guys meet?
Our general meetings are
The third Tuesday of every month in SS 308.
from
They're at 3.
3?
Right?
3:30.
3:30, sorry. 3:30, excuse me.
That's SS, what is it again?
SS 308.
308.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and for like our cabinet meetings, we have weekly meetings, I guess. They're Fridays at 7 p.m. at Leche Cafe.
Yes, it's a cafe and a bookstore. We meet there every Friday. We kind of made it a routine since that's when everybody was, a majority of the members of the club were open to meet. It's off of Firestone and Pioneer. It's a amazing cafe. Just wanted to let you guys know.
I've heard a lot about that cafe. I've never been there, but I mean, I even hear that our comedian students are actually doing shows now.
Oh yeah.
I think specifically on.
Yeah, they do improv. They have open mic, and it's locally owned, and the owner is very supportive of students. He's also offering student discounts, and he has really cheap books.
And how do you
They're
pronounce it again? The name of the place?
It's called Leche Cafe and Bookstore. It's off Firestone and Pioneer.
Leche Cafe. Okay. So you guys have had the opportunity to like be a part of like a huge thing. You've had a following, especially because of adding classes. Tell me about the process. How long did it take to get the added classes?
We were first focused on our access to textbooks campaign, and that was in the beginning of the semester, but it changed in about March. We started thinking about summer school, and how the classes were, how we almost had summer school cut one year, and we started focusing on that, and since it was around the corner, it was like a couple months away, we decided to put all our energy towards that campaign. And that's when we created the summer sections committee. Students specifically focused on, what was it? Correct me. Focused on seeing how much summer classes were going to be offered this semester. I'm sorry, and kind of studying the budget to see if we can get these classes added. And it took about a month of just straight organizing, really dedicating ourselves to this campaign because it was really important to us. And from what I know, from what I've heard, summer students were the most successful. And then, did you want to touch up on that a little bit?
Yeah. So as far as, did you say the steps that we took?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the question? Yeah. So one of the very, very first steps was just really talking to a lot of the folks on campus, right? So talking to department chairs, right? Talking to individual board members, right? Talking to some of our administrators, talking to students, doing outreach, right? And then doing our research. Before we did outreach, right, we had to do our research. So figuring out the amount of classes that had been cut. And when we looked back to 2007, they had been, how many classes do we have in 2007?
Roughly 1,100 classes were offered.
Right. So 1,100 in 2007. And then in last summer, we had 432 sections, right? So really doing our research on how much classes were cut, and learning our own school budget, right? And figuring out the different accounts that the school has within their budget, and how much money it's composed of. But yeah, the research was really, really crucial to our campaign, and then outreaching and educating students on what we're doing and what we want to do for them, right?
Excellent. We're approaching our PSA segment. We'll be right back after these public service announcements.
Wednesday afternoons at 2 Pacific on WPMD on the net. It's Swingin' with the World.
I've got the world on a string.
Swingin' with the World with Peggy Sue.
Swinging with the World plays 40s and 50s music. We do everything from the war years, and that's what I like.
Big bands, saloon singers, classic vocal groups.
It makes me want to jump and jive, and I want to give that gift that I have to the people who are listening.
Swingin' with the World, 2 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday on WPMD on the net, where people make a difference.
Because it's my show. It's amazing.
Hey, parents of children with autism. Preventing asthma attacks can be as simple as making your home and car smoke-free zones, cleaning up the mold, and vacuuming the floor to keep your house free of dust, dander, and dust mites. Take it from the world's most famous asthma rock band, the Breathe Easies, with their hit songs about simple steps that you can take to prevent your kids' asthma attacks. Their songs may be fun, but childhood with asthma is not. Visit www.noattacks.org for more information about preventing asthma attacks and awesome Breathe Easy tunes. Brought to you by the EPA, the Ad Council, and WPMD on the net, where people make a difference.
I thought I was too old.
I thought I was too young.
I didn't think I had what it takes.
How would I find the time? I figured I'd get around to it someday.
Besides, it's probably too expensive.
Too difficult.
Too complicated.
Then one day I sat down at the piano.
The drums,
The keyboard.
Guitar.
bass.
Ukulele.
I went into a music store and tried some percussion.
Tried a clarinet.
A sax.
And I learned a few simple notes.
Simple
A few
chords.
simple rhythms.
Before I knew it,
I could actually play a song. A pretty simple one, but I did it. Me. I couldn't believe it.
why make excuses when you can make music?
Why wait?
Just play.
This message brought to you by the NAM Foundation.
We are back on the Falcon Spotlight. I'm your host, Rob GF, and we are joined by an additional guest at this time. I would like him to please introduce himself.
Hello,
Hi,
everybody.
I'm Jennifer Ovalle.
And my name's Jimmy Valdez.
I'm Steven Rodriguez. I'm the vice president of the Model United Nations Club.
Model United Nations.
That's right.
When does your club meet?
Our club meets every Tuesday at 11 to 12:30. We meet in SS 139, I think.
Cool.
It's one of the SS buildings, one of the SS classes. But we actually have no more club meetings coming up because we're doing our end of the semester simulation in a few weeks, or no, I think next Tuesday. And the spotlight for that simulation will be the Israel-Palestine crisis.
Now, for both your clubs, I was wondering if you guys had websites, because I know that for social equality, I bumped into like a WordPress.
Yeah, our website is thesocialequalityclub.org.
Oh, and Model United Nations, we do have a website, but it's mostly in a fledgling kind of a website right now. It's ccmun .com or .org.
And
No.
do you guys, as students, run it, or do you guys have like your advisor control your websites, or how do you guys?
For us, it's we run our website. We update it. It hasn't been updated recently, but yeah, like for the Social Equality Club, we updated ourselves. We input all the information and everything.
For Model United Nations, it's pretty much the same way. We our president, actually, she is in charge of maintaining the website. I haven't been on it lately, but there are pictures of like us from like conferences, things like that. Just news about upcoming events for Model United Nations, things of that nature.
So the socialequality.org one, it's through WordPress, or?
No, it's an actual website. It's the socialequalityclub.org.
Okay. So you guys were familiar with how to like create a website then, or you had somebody that had like a class? Because that's pretty cool. No, most people just have a Facebook page.
Yeah, actually, one of our members, Daniel Flores, the student trustee elect, actually, he's very handy with designing websites, flyers. He's an artist, and he brought that up and he fixed it up himself. And we also have two other members that kind of input information. So like all three of them are kind of in charge of the website. But if anybody wants to add anything, we just give them the password and whatnot.
Now, are any of you guys in student government?
Yes, I'm in Senate, actually.
Cool. Now, I know that some clubs, they'll try to implement a format of meeting with rules such as parliamentary procedures. So I was wondering, do your clubs have like certain functions implemented from inspired by some stuff, or?
We try and make it as democratic as possible. So we leave our floor open to discussion. We don't have any parliamentary procedures. All you really have to do is raise your hand if you want to talk. And then we have a facilitator who facilitates the meeting. And that's about it.
Model United Nations, we actually go by parliamentary variant of parliamentary procedures based on a competition that we went to earlier this semester. I think actually earlier this month. Actually, it's Model United Nations of the Far West rules. It's essentially New York parliamentary procedures. However, there's more stricter guidelines. It's more, I guess you would say, focused, more rigid. But the rules, they're very easy to understand. Like once you like have a little more practice with them. But I do like essentially what the Social Equality Club saying that they do go off almost parliamentary procedure rules, only a loose variant of it. You know, people getting their hands, or people raising their hands getting called on. It's it is very democratic, and I like that.
What are the goals for your clubs? Like, do you see any anything in sight for fall already, or do you guys are gonna think it over the summer? What's the next step for your clubs?
As for the Social Equality Club for the fall semester, it's going to be up to the remaining club members to decide what they're going to be focusing on for the fall semester. We have our Access to Textbooks campaign that we are going to push, and that will, begin for the fall. But pretty much how we decide what we focus on is we have our meetings, and we just have everybody there. If they have anything they want to focus on, like animal justice or just anything, any issue that they want to focus on, it's brought to the table. We discuss it, and then we vote on what issue we feel we should focus on. So, everybody has input, everybody gets a say, and then at the end we focus on what issue that, we're going to push for, or, we could possibly push for two, just depending. But as for fall semester, we just have our Access to Textbooks campaign, like I said, and it's just going to be based on what the students want.
For Model United Nations, what we have coming up in the fall semester, a given would be our simulation, much like the one we're going to do here this semester. We haven't decided a topic yet for next semester simulation. We also have a conference to go to, which would be UC Santa Barbara's conference. So it's a travel conference. We go. It's a 2-day tournament. It's a 3-day tournament. We go. We leave like Thursday and we come back Sunday, something like that. It's always fun because we get to like put all our Model United Nations knowledge to the test against other students in the competition. And it's always a fun time. Just discussing policy, and I know it sounds kind of boring, but once you get in there, it's pretty exciting. And also, although it hasn't really been finalized yet, the club is thinking of hosting a scrimmage for high school students, Model United Nations scrimmage for like a 1-day conference for high school students, which would be pretty fun too.
Are you guys going to summer school?
Not me. I'm done already. This is my last semester.
I will be there.
Yeah, I'm going to summer school too. It's a given. I like going to school, and it's gonna be hot and everything. So it's.
Well, being that one of you is in your last semester, what are all your goals for after Cerritos College?
Transfer. I'm hoping to get an internship at Cal State Dominguez Hills, doing the same stuff that we're doing here. Because aside from the club, we also have an internship that is part of the club. And me and Jimmy are actually paid interns this semester here on campus. So I'm hoping to continue this work at Cal State Dominguez Hills. And that's really it. Focus on my majors, and I'm really excited. So.
Yeah, same here. Just to, I'll be here for a while since I took a year off. So, just to work my way through Cerritos College, eventually transfer, I don't know where yet, and pretty much take all the skills that I'm learning here, all the organizing skills, all the people that I'm meeting amazing people along the way, and just taking this back and, giving it back to my community, because that's one thing that really drove me towards being involved with this kind of work, is just, seeing how my community is just really messed up, and I'm pretty sure a lot of communities are like that, but I just really want to take these skills and organize within my community to help make it a better place for the kids and just for everybody in general.
Well, as for me, I plan to transfer to UCI, where I'm going to major. Well, I'm majoring in political science. Hopefully I can get a job. I mean, it's somewhere in politics, whether it be like interning somewhere or eventually be a politician, which would be nice. I mean, it's hard for poli-sci majors to get into politics, but if I can't be a politician, I'll probably just fall back and be an analyst somewhere.
Political science. What are you guys' majors again?
I'm child development and labor studies. I'm double major.
I'm undecided as of right now.
Oh. Now, you guys mentioned internships. What are you guys doing right now?
It's just all the campaigns that we've been running, pretty much. It's 5 hours a week.
Yes.
It's a living wage, and it's really just revolved around educational reform. And pretty much what we're doing right now, we hosted trainings at the beginning of the semester, right? We did our research, educated students. We got students to be at the board meeting, and we made something happen. So it's pretty much just everything that we are already doing.
Yeah, and just to touch up on that a little bit, it's just an internship, like she said, revolved around educational reform, It's actually run through the AFT 1521. Well, actually, it's run through the Cerritos College Faculty Federation, which is a branch of the AFT, the American Federation of Teachers. And we are actually the first school we're the first community college to have these internships implemented on their campus. So, but yeah.
Outside of LA.
Outside of LA,
Yeah.
actually. Sorry about that. Yeah, outside of the LA Community College District. And we attend monthly meetings where all the interns, they get together and they just pretty much, we update each other on what we're doing on our campus. And, we do trainings, grassroots organizing, how to make presentations, everything. And then we focus on an issue as a whole, as what we can focus on, on each of our campuses, so like a statewide issue. So right now it's the oil severance tax. SB 1017 is what we're focusing on as of right now.
Cool. Now, it's interesting that you guys as clubs are you're a little bit different because you guys look at issues that are even like bigger than just the school. I know that you guys had mentioned about a concern about Long Beach, the whole AB 95 thing for our audience that are not aware what AB 955. I forgot how to say it. Yeah. Can you explain that?
So pretty much what AB 955 is, it's the implementation of what you would call a two-tier system on public campuses, public colleges, right? So what this two-tier system entails is pretty much during summer and winter intersessions, schools would be able to have certain classes that were worth about up to $250 per unit. Long Beach started with charging $225 per unit, and they started this last winter intersession. But it pretty much it's going. I guess it kind of turns a public university, right? It starts turning it into what a private institution would charge for units, right? So it's not. It kind of defeats the purpose of what public education is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be accessible to the community. It's supposed to be accessible to really different kinds of people from different socioeconomic levels. So Long Beach students were having a really hard time. And we actually had a panel here. The student trustee came and spoke. Another person from their student government came and spoke. And a person from Santa Monica City College came to speak because before it was a bill, it was pretty much a policy that they were trying to pass on Santa Monica College, and the students fought it down. And then somebody they wrote a bill. His name's Doss Williams. He wrote a bill, which is now Law AB 955. But yeah, I think, I described that one, right? Just making sure.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, it's just a pilot program as of right now. Long Beach City College actually pushed for it. The president, correct?
Yeah.
The president, yes. He actually pushed for this and had it implemented on their campus.
So right now, what would be the do you see any chances of like schools getting rid of it, or?
Well, at the beginning, when it passed, 6 schools were supposed to start implementing it, 6 to 7. And I think right now Long Beach City College is the only one who ended up implementing it. And from what I've read and the information that I've collected, it hasn't been a very successful program. A lot of professors didn't want to teach it, and some students were actually boycotting it. Some students did take the courses. They did pay that money to take the courses. But as far as how successful it is, I'm not too sure. But from what I've read, it wasn't as successful as they thought it would be. Only one school implemented it from all the other ones who were supposed to have this pilot program. So who knows the direction that it will go in. But for the benefit of students within the public education system, we hope that it doesn't continue and that it dies out as a pilot program.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one of the reasons we had the AB 955 panel, was just to educate students on what this law was, what it consisted of, just so, if it were successful and they wanted to implement it into all community colleges. They knew what it was, so we weren't really like blindsided and just like, hey, we're gonna get this put on your campus. We didn't even know what it was, and now we have to pay $225 per unit. Just so we had students educated on it, so they had a feel for what this law was.
And 2 something, isn't that like for people that are like out of state, or isn't that like a fee that we have that's
Yeah, it's
I have no idea.
It's a lot of money. I mean, $225 per unit. Right now we're paying what, $46? That's like a Cal State price, right?
Yeah, I have no idea where they charge that. I'm not really too familiar with that information. But I mean, just imagine, 250, because it could go up to 250, right? Long Beach just has 225. But just imagine 250 times 3, right? Or those 4-unit classes times 4. It adds up, and it's just crazy.
So some students will be looking to pay around $1,000 for like one class.
For a class, and on top of books and parking that they would have to pay for and everything else, just living life.
That seems a little bit excessive, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially for a community college, right?
Yeah, I think it's great that you guys are trying to educate students on this and trying to not get it implemented here on Cerritos, because that is way too much money for college students to be paying. I mean, even if like even a vast majority of our student body does work, but even those working students, that's too much money to pay even for them.
Yeah, luckily our president and our student government and our board pretty much sent a letter saying that they were against it. So as far as the campus and the stance that they took, I think that was really meaningful, and we as students appreciated that, right? That it wasn't like LBCC who was actually pushing for this and wanting it to be implemented.
And you guys have met like their student government before, or
Excuse me?
the LBCC student government?
No. They're it's more of their administration and their board, I think. But no, not their student government. I know their student government was against it, and their student trustee was really against it. From what I've heard and from what they've told me, because I have contact with the student trustee, and I think she's a senator in student government, Stephanie. So yeah.
Cool. And a lot of people say that our student government here at Cerritos College is probably the best one. They have the most money.
Yeah, I mean that's actually what I've heard, that we have a good amount of wealth within our student government, and we're a fairly lucky school in terms of our own budget, right? The campus's budget, we're doing pretty well, and we're really lucky as a campus and as a student body to have what we have here on our campus.
What do you guys think so far of the recycling happening here on campus, the program?
I think it's awesome. It's just a way to, just a little step that they're taking to help the environment. I personally think it's cool. I'm not against it. When I first saw one of the first recycling bins put up, it was by the PST building, and I was like, what the heck? And it kind of threw me off, and then I only saw one, and then I went throughout the rest of the campus, and I was like, why is there only one? There should be like 100 of these things. And then like a couple weeks later, I started seeing them put everywhere, and I was like, oh, this is tight. So I think it's pretty awesome, and I think it's pretty cool. It's great that the students did that.
I think it's pretty great too. Seeing as like issues with the environment are, they're becoming more and more prevalent. We actually have a Go Green committee here on campus that there's a couple members of the United Nations Club, Model United Nations Club, who are part of, because they're members of Senate. They're also on the committee for the Go Green. But as far as like the recycling bins, I agree. There should be a few more of those around campus. It'd be a great thing to have.
Cool. Now, being that you guys' clubs, I mean, the semester is almost over. How are things going? Like as far as like club fundraisers and stuff. Have you guys had any this semester? Any future ones?
We've had a couple this semester. We've had about like 4 or 5 bake sales, I believe. And club funding, it's it's donation based. We usually cook, or we don't cook. We bake. We have baked goods. Sorry, they're all handmade. We have vegan cookies, just a variety of cookies, just like chocolate chip cookies. We think about our vegan friends, and it was actually brought up to us by a culinary arts student that a big chunk of students at Cerritos College are allergic to nuts, and a lot of our cookies had nuts in it. And I was like, oh crap, I'm so sorry, like we didn't know that. And it's just something to keep in mind. So next time we have a bake sale, we'll make sure to keep the nuts out of all of the cookies, but out
of some of them.
Out of some of them, not all of them. Will we have a variety of baked goods that we have. And funding, we actually won the Falcon Games, the physical strength or the test of strength or whatever it was. We placed first, so yeah,
that was cool.
It was pretty fun. The hamster ball was pretty awesome. I almost fell out of it and I was rolling, so but yeah.
From all United Nations, we've had a few fundraisers over the course of the semester. We actually had a fundraiser to raise money for the American Cancer Association. I myself, I'm a member of a team, so we had a fundraiser where all the donations or all the proceeds went directly to the ACA. For any people who are listening, please help donate. Team Avengers, that's the team I'm a part of. And also, we have a fundraiser coming up for our end of the semester simulation on May 6th. So if you happen to be by LC 155 around 11 o'clock, just stop by, listen in. We're talking about Israel-Palestine crisis, and we're simulating the Security Council, so it'll be kind of fun.
Excellent. And we'll be right back after these public service announcements.
The Oldies Jukebox is back on WPMD.
Every night at 9 Pacific.
Bringing you music you haven't heard for years.
In a way, you've never heard it.
6 decades of rock and roll packed into 1 hour.
The smallest hits from the biggest names. The all-time greats and the one-time wonders.
From C&W to R&B.
From MOR to AOR.
To good old rock and roll.
If you heard it then, you'll hear it now.
On the Oldies Jukebox.
Every night at 9 Pacific. On WPMD on the net.
Where people make a difference.
If you're thinking about getting a GED diploma, but need a little more motivation to get you on your way, visit the GED Pep Talk Center, where there are celebrity pep talkers standing by, ranging from level 1, gentle pep talk, from Deborah Jo Rupp, all the way up to level 13 extreme pep talk from Danny Trejo. So, whatever level of motivation you need to get to your GED diploma, there's a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your help for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council of Education. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation, the Ad Council, and WPMD.org, where people make a difference.
We've been married a year.
Yep, and in business together for 2 months.
Oh, it's a big move for us, starting a business and everything.
And for our future 9 children.
Oh, our future 2 children.
Look, there are lots of worries with starting a business, but creating an emergency preparedness plan shouldn't be one of them.
Yeah, we needed a plan in case of fire, flood, or cyber attack. I mean, how would we get the business back up and running?
Because without the business, we could never afford baseball mitts for the 9 kids.
We went to ready.gov and downloaded everything we needed to create a plan. mean, Ready.gov has free templates, checklists, and more.
Yeah, without Ready.gov, I could easily get old before my time. The furrowed brow, nervous twitch.
But because of Ready.gov, we have one less thing to worry about.
Droopy shoulders.
Oh, stop it.
Go to ready.gov for details on creating an emergency preparedness plan. Ready.gov. Becoming a success is hard work. Protecting it isn't. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Ad Council, and this station.
And we are back on the Falcon Spotlight. I'm your host, Rob JF, and we're down to our last 15 minutes of our show. Now, I'm back here with my guests. And, you know, each semester we have clubs that they'll like recognize each other, or we have big events like even like through the ASCC, the banquet awards. Are you guys going to the banquet awards?
I'm not going to the banquet awards. Actually, this is my second semester, so second semester with the club, so I've never really had to go to the banquet awards. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also not going.
You guys didn't know about the application process, or?
Yeah, I didn't know. So, I mean, yeah, I didn't know, so I didn't really apply. It's okay. There's always next semester.
Yeah, I knew about the application process, but it's my last semester. I'm only taking 2 classes, and they're really just for fun because I only needed like 1 unit, and that was like a year ago. So,
what class are you taking?
I'm taking a child development class, music and movement and teaching, and then it's called Women's Studies 104, organizing. It's community organizing and activism. That's what it's called. And that one goes hand in hand with the internship. So.
Cool. Well, it's a shame you guys aren't going though. Because the culinary arts, I hear their people they cook awesome.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You know, I always, whenever I can get a chance, I always go and enjoy the food at the cafe, the student cafeteria. So I do know somewhat about, you know, like I guess the sandwiches there are pretty tasty. So, like, if those sandwiches are any like, you know, little sample of how good of a cooking those the culinary arts students are, I guess I am missing out, and I probably should like bum a ride or something, like get an invitation somehow with somebody.
Yeah, definitely. I know. I love going to the culinary arts too during the hours that they're open. But yeah, it's $15, isn't it, to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's also why I didn't
go. Speaking of food. The cafeteria is going to go through some changes, I believe, in, July? We're actually getting different vendors soon. What do you guys think of that?
Oh, I heard that they're bringing more healthy foods, and I think that's wonderful because, to be quite honest, I really don't like that there's 3 fast food places right next to each other, like in the student center. So the addition of more healthy foods, I feel will help the student body a lot. Just because it's going to be more healthy choices, and not to mention there's going to be a coffee bean, which is as a college student, sometimes there are just times where I just live off coffee alone, and having a coffee shop having another coffee shop here on campus would just be a boon to my success as a student.
Yeah, I'm also really happy. I'm not going to be able to enjoy it as much, maybe if I come study here, because I don't live too far from here. But I'm just happy that the students, ASCC, was able to make that change. It's funny because at the beginning, before we started any of our campaigns, healthy food was part of the issues that we had highlighted, but we didn't feel it was priority. I mean, it's important, right? But to us, what was more priority was getting more courses, right? Making textbooks more accessible. But I'm super happy that food is going to be healthier now. We have actually some vegetarians and some vegans in our club, and it's really hard for them to even get food on campus. So I know there's going to be one restaurant that's offering steamed veggies, brown rice, tofu and that stuff. So that's going to be really helpful to folks who have dietary restrictions and stuff like that. So that's really cool. I'm excited for the college moving forward.
How did you guys feel that one of the restaurants that was leaving is actually one of our pizza ones?
Oh no, we're losing one of the 5 pizza places we have here on campus. That's a shame. My sadness is uncontainable.
Yeah, I was definitely really happy to see one go. When I would try and look for healthy options on campus, I was like, seriously, we have 3? We have 3, really? Like, why? Why do we need that many pizza places? And then there's one across the street. So yeah, I'm glad to see it go. I won't shed a tear.
I'm sure it won't hurt them that bad though, because they also have there's one, I believe, when there's football games. There's one by the I don't know what those things are called. Bleachers?
By the stadium?
Oh yeah, that's right. There's another. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's right. So that does make it 5. So
yeah,
on point.
How do you guys feel that eventually culinary is getting like a bungalow type of thing, or like a
mobile kitchen?
Yeah.
A mobile kitchen?
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. Because if they have like a mobile kitchen, maybe they can do more altruistic things. Like they can go provide like food for homeless people or something like that. Like, well, I guess as a social issue, like they could help with. But if they have like a mobile food, the students could actually go cook at like the football games or things like that. They can do a lot more things with a mobile cooking truck. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think from what I've heard, they're trying to make it more restaurant style, right? So they're trying to serve students food and stuff like that, like they would do it at a restaurant. So that's really exciting for them, just to get the experience and be able to move on further in their careers and say like, hey, this is what I did on my campus. We had it like completely restaurant style. Like that's really cool, and it's definitely going to be a good experience for them, and that's exciting.
Now, I think this would be an interesting question. What is the most favorite class you've taken, and what was the most difficult class you've taken?
Oh, that is a good question. Definitely, like my most favorite class just has to be any class taught by Professor Mullins.
Yes.
He's a political science teacher here on campus, and he's by far one of the best teachers I've ever had. Like, just period. But as far as worst classes or least enjoyable, I would have to say sociology. Sociology. It was interesting, but it was kind of hard for me.
Which one?
I think it was the 100, or like the intro. So like it was kind of hard for me to wrap my head around like micro and macro things like that. But that was it. Oh, also math. I'm not too good at math.
Yeah, for me, I guess I'll start with the bad first. I hate math, so for me, I'm with you on that one. I really hate any math course that I've ever taken. And I actually enjoyed statistics, to my surprise, but I hate math. As for my favorite courses, I do love Professor Mullins. He's awesome, but that's not my favorite class. One of my favorite classes was... it's in between 2, and they're taught by the same professor. Her name is Jennifer Palma. She's an amazing professor over there in the Child Development Department. And I would say it's in between. There's a class called The Child, the Family, and the Community. And it pretty much just talks about how the child is an extension of its entire community, and that teachers should realize that and try and be as judgment-free as they can when it comes to dealing with families and stuff like that. And it goes more in depth about social issues, and it's really cool. And then she also has another class called Teaching in a Diverse Society, which again touches on social issues of race, class, gender, and all that stuff. So really awesome classes, and just taught by a really awesome professor. So it's in between those 2. I can't really pick. She's just too cool.
Cool. Well, I think I agree with you guys with the whole math thing. Math turns my brain to slushy. I cannot do math. I've left that for last, sadly. No. But yeah, the child development's pretty cool. Are you guys familiar with AmeriCorps?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, no, me neither.
There was like a job fair like way back that AmeriCorps is like, I guess it's like Peace Corps thing. It's like an organization, and they were here for a job fair, and you sign a contract, and you're on the contract for the year, and we were tutoring the K through 6 students in the district of Bellflower. And then afterwards, we had different partner organizations as well, working with the kids. And then afterwards, like, Bellflower was like, oh, we'd like to interview you. And it was for the youth center. But they're like, oh, but yeah, never mind. You don't have 12 units in child development. I'm like, oh. You have to have that, I guess, as a side if you want to also work with, like, mentoring youth. So that was pretty interesting. I ended up taking the 12 units in the child development course.
Cool.
I got to do the instructional aid class, getting my hours from my little sister's class.
Oh, that's cool.
That's helpful, and you get to like help your little sister.
Yeah, she felt popular throughout that grade, 4th grade. Being that this is your last semester, what will you miss the most?
Just the campus itself. I really, really love Cerritos College. I've been to other campuses. I went to Fullerton College and I went to Cypress, and I didn't enjoy my time there as much. I actually didn't really like them. But I really connected here with the faculty, with the students, with the campus. So really just the whole experience of just being a student here, I'm really going to miss a lot. My friends here, right? And yeah, that's it.
What will you miss when you leave Cerritos?
Well, I'll tell you what I won't miss. I won't miss walking up the SS building to the top floor, because being a political science student, it seems like all the poli-sci classes are on the top floor, the 3rd floor of the SS building. So I won't miss that.
It's the worst when you're late.
Exactly, because you running up those stairs and you're out of breath, and then you have to like kind of take a few seconds outside of class to kind of catch your breath, so you're not like huffing and puffing when you walk in, and then you try your hardest to hide it, but you can't, so people know like, oh yeah, that guy's late, and look at him, he can't walk up those stairs. But I'm definitely gonna miss a lot of the faculty here. Like I said, Professor Mullins, Professor Abazaway, Professor Obazan, a lot of the political science teachers. They've been a great influence on me in my education. Obviously, I'm a political science major, and that's all because of Professor Obasahan, who's the head of the political science department. But yeah, also, I'm gonna miss a lot of the people here. I've met a lot of interesting people.
Now, being that you guys have already been here for a while, do you think that people who like try to give you advice on what to take for summer, do you think it's true that you shouldn't take like English or like the tougher classes in summer, or should you just knock it out the way in summer?
I can't really speak to that. I've never really taken summer courses. But I imagine that they're harder and faster, right? And English is a harder subject for some people. But I don't know. I guess that's a personal choice, right? Do you want to dedicate 4 days a week, a lot of study hours to completing that course? Or if you're going to slack off, like, you might as well not take it, right? Because you can kind of slack off a little bit during fall and spring and get through and get by. But summer is no joke. So, yeah, I guess it's just really has to do with personal motivation and what the person is willing to contribute and even give up, right, during the summer.
Well, I mean, being that like the classes, well, this semester, like there's 6-week sessions, it does lend credence to the whole, like, the harder classes shouldn't be taken. But I mean, I like a challenge, so I'm actually going to be taking a math class over the over the summer. So I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to that, but I'm really looking forward to the challenge that presents, because I want to go in there for those 6 weeks and just crank it out real quick, and then get an A, because I'm going to do that.
Cool. Well, we are out of time, but I want to thank you for your time, for being here on the Falcon Spotlight. Tune in, ladies and gentlemen, to Deaf Man's Music next.